For a lot of us business owners, that's unlike me. Maybe my previous life, we launch physical products. We create prototypes, we manufacture, we ship, and we try to sell these products to different people. But when you're a new person, when you're launching a product for the first time, it's usually difficult getting these products in the faces of your potential buyers. It's really difficult getting people to know about these products. So a lot of us choose platforms which already have these eyes of people who want those products to launch those products. And two big choices that we choose are the popular Amazon, and also a lot of us want to launch our products on places like Kickstarter. And it's really confusing. Sometimes we have different results on both of them. So today we'll be talking with someone that would tell us more about those platforms. So this is the Tech Your Business podcast, where we break down technology, inform you about the latest in technology to help your business learn more, earn more, and do more. My name is Peter, and this will be a guest episode. Today's guest will be Dylan Lam of the Omirank agency. So welcome to the show, Dylan.
Thank you, Peter. I'm stoked to be here.
Thank you. So can you just tell us a bit about about yourself and a bit about what you do too?
Right. So me myself, I was a digital marketer. I'm also a media buyer and also like brand owner as well. So I started like the whole what do you call this? FMCG business, or like you can say consumer goods business back in 2014. Yeah, 2014. Like that was back in my uni time. I was like so free, I got nothing to do, and then I just like, let's sell on Amazon. Oh, let's sell on eBay that time, right? And then I was like carrying like a tons of like package with me to the post office. I would just lay down all the floor and then just stick up stickers and then just ship out, whatever there's order coming from eBay. And then that was a lot of like labor intensive things that I was doing. And then I stumbled across Amazon, right? And then I stumbled across Amazon FBA. And then I started selling white label product, as in like white label, as in like not even private label, just like getting stuff from China and then sell it in the UK. And that was the white label timing that I get started. So after that, like I was able to find out, oh, okay. I realized out of that 10 product, there's these two product is selling so well. Like I'm literally getting like 10 orders per day, right? So I started to go for private label for that one product that I'm selling, for that one and two product I'm selling, and then go expand from the series of like that product into into those complementary product and substitute product as well. So now I own a brand that is doing 7 figures right now and doing on Amazon and off Amazon as well. And of course, I didn't start my journey smoothly because like during the time that I need cash flow to bootstrap the business, I was working and part-time on Amazon when I was like 6 figures mark, right? And then to go from 6 figures to 7 figures, I really have to go to buy more inventory, of course. And also, I started to get friends and family who wants me to help them to start a business and also run ad for them, because I was showcasing my strategy for them along my journey. They like it, so that was the fund that was trying to that was inject to my agency, and then I used those funds to bootstrap the brand from 6 figures to 7 figures. So today, like I'm not here to just own a brand. I'm also considered as like a innovator. We innovate product. We have a molding from China. We create a mold from China. We put it on Kickstarter. Before we put it on Kickstarter, we do engagement tests. We do research, make sure that we validate that the product has a potential. And then each of the Kickstarter that we're doing, we aim for at least 100K. And then that was another validation point for me to tell me that, oh, it looks like there's a potential. Let me put it on Shopify, and we'll use dropshipping method to do it. If there's any product that is not doing well, we'll just drop it, or we'll just send it to Amazon, or maybe we'll just like put it on eBay to finish the product that is not doing well. And that is the whole strategy that I'm using until today. And of course, that we are also a full service agency because of the experience that I have in the past.
So that story is actually similar to how I started too, because I started totally unrelated businesses and got people asking questions about what I was doing and ended up doing what I do now. So you mentioned Kickstarter in your description about creating products and putting them on Kickstarter, and if they are not validated, just clearing the stock on Amazon. So can you explain for the people in the audience who might not know it, what Kickstarter is and what happens there?
The Kickstarter and Indiegogo is a crowdfunding platform. When people heard about crowdfunding, it depends who heard it. If you're in e-commerce, crowdfunding to you, it means Kickstarter and Indiegogo. When it comes to like in Wall Street, when they heard about crowdfunding, most likely they talk about equity crowdfunding. But then our crowdfunding is a reward crowdfunding. So it means that when a backers back you, you will reward them with a reward tier. Is either going to be one product that you're that is either one product that you give it back to them with a lower retail price, or maybe two product or maybe 10 product in that package that you're offering in that reward tier, right? And that is crowdfunding, and you're using crowdsource to help you fundraise, to help you validate your product before you go into the market. And that's the power of crowdfunding. And we also use it for, and we don't use it for really like creating something from scratch. We use it for marketing. So I like to call it crowdfunding marketing that we're using it for.
Nice. All right. So for you said you talked about Kickstarter and crowdfunding for launching products. So what makes Kickstarter different from other platforms where anybody can launch their products?
Kickstarter. Okay. So if we have to say like what product could be launched on Kickstarter, is that the question? Like what product can be launched on Kickstarter?
Yeah, no, like what makes it different from launching it anywhere else?
Right. The thing is like when you launch on Amazon and eBay, Amazon always have to buy 6 months worth or 3 months worth of inventory, right? So right off the bat, you have to put in 3 months worth of inventory into the warehouse, and then you will start with the SEO, you will start with the PPC, and then whenever you're able to get traction, then you'll be able to get sales, right? Whereas on Kickstarter, you don't have to hold the 3 months worth of inventory. And you're there to just prove your concept. You only have to put in your sample and prototype, and then shoot a video, and then bring it to life, right? And then whenever people back you, it means that there's a potential with your product. And so that hugely decreases the risk of you don't have to hold the 3 months worth of inventory. If that 3 months worth of inventory failed, right, then you have to go on and liquidate them, or you have to go on to use a lot of resource to sell them at a break-even price, right? Whereas like in Kickstarter, you don't have to bear the risk of failing. If it fails, it doesn't waste your time. You're launching a product anyway, right? You're launching a product anyway. You can pick either Amazon and you can pick eBay or Kickstarter. But when it comes to the worst case, if it failed, you are trying to put in a lot of resources to really to liquidate them and or to handle them. And that's the reason why we prefer to launch on Kickstarter. But when it comes to what product can be launched on Kickstarter, right? If we are going to talk about back in the days when we sell on Amazon or eBay or maybe Walmart, right? We always just snap a label on there, private labeled it, and then put it on Amazon, right? Which is like in nowadays, you don't do that anymore. Nowadays, when we launch on Amazon, we always change something with the manufacturer, even though it's just a phone case, right? You could just add maybe a ring in here. The ring will be put in your finger ring, or maybe in this phone case, you could change maybe a little bit like of a padding at the side to make it a bit more salt absorption, right? And then you can put on Kickstarter. It's about having one extra feature to have it enough to differentiate from the general public and put it on Kickstarter, right? It could be 100K, you could aim for 100K campaign, you could aim for 50K campaign. The aim there is about the gain that you're getting from a Kickstarter campaign. The gain that you're getting from Kickstarter campaign is actually more than when you launch on Amazon, because on Amazon, you are not able to have access to the email list. You're not able to have access to the not just about the email list. Say you're not able to access to the customer. You cannot like market to them. You cannot talk to them because it's like their customer. It's not your customer when you sell on Amazon. And on Amazon, you don't need to build a brand. You can sell it as in a Amazon brand, as in like I mean, even though this brand, I don't know what's the name, Moju Optical, right? Even though if you put it on Amazon, people would just think about this is an Amazon brand. Where did it get from? They would just say they get it from Amazon. Whereas if we have it on Shopify or Kickstarter first, we are really building a name brand. People will recognize your name because you are really having a touch point with them. And that's why that's the importance of having an email list and be able to talk to the consumer. Okay. I guess that's the biggest difference when it comes to why do we launch on Amazon? Why do we launch on Kickstarter first?
Okay. Okay, I think that makes sense. So, for a business who wants to launch their product, to launch a Kickstarter campaign, how would you make them understand, like, how does a Kickstarter campaign look from start to the finish, launching a Kickstarter campaign?
To launch a Kickstarter from start to finish, it's always start from validation, right? And then pre-launch, and then launch, and then post-launch. Of course, I'm going to dive in depth, right? So in pre-launch, so in validation, you want to validate whether or not your product has potential. So people will come to us and then we'll just like have us to just validate the product. And then we'll just tell them, hey, your product have enough differentiation factors. There's 3 levels of what we offer. Like we either offer like you to have us to just have a look based on our expertise. We'll give you your feedback, or you can have us to help you to go for say a engagement test on Facebook. So engagement test on Facebook is we put on Facebook, we run ad for you, and then we'll see whether or not your product have generated any buzz, right? And then the way that we gauge them is how many people is commenting on your Facebook post, or whether or not your message is actually targeting the right person, and then create a question to get them to comment on the post. So that's the engagement test. To use that case, either in groups or in ads, right? So we find the relevant audience, talk to them, ask for their opinion, and tell you whether or not there's a potential, right? The last one that what we'll do is like we'll just go on to not just engagement test, we ask for commitment test, right? So we ask for audience to commit maybe £1, £5, let them and then say, hey, we're launching this. We are using scarcity and urgency offer to tell people if you're interested, you can pay £1, £5 to secure your spot on the day of the launch, and therefore you will know, okay, we really have a potential because people is really willing to pay for the amount to get a cheaper price because they really love this product and they want to have it faster, right? So that's the engagement test, commitment test, or the symbol test, right? And then that's the validation. After that validation, we'll move on to the pre-launch test. So in pre-launch, since we know what we did in the engagement test already, so we will know that whether or not you should go for pre-launch. If your product in the validation test doesn't really meet our certain KPI. Say if your engagement test didn't generate enough buzz, if your commitment test only generate like maybe 1% of the CPA, then we'll say, hey, sorry, I don't think you should go on to launch it on Kickstarter. You just launch it on Amazon, and then we'll just help them to launch on Amazon. But then if the product have enough potential, then we just help them to launch on Kickstarter with a pre-launch test. In the pre-launch test, we'll just tell them, hey, we will use what we just tested on the commitment test. We will expand the whole narrative, as in like we will find different message, and then a creative angle, and then we will scale that to different prospects, right? Say if you're running a phone case, right in the commitment test, we were only finding iPhone user, right? Right now we will narrow down into iPhone user, and we will narrow down into iPhone user who use MacBook. We'll narrow down into iPhone user who love traveling, or who commute. That's why they need a rain in the iPhone, right? So that's the thing that we do as like in pre-launch. We will prospect to find whether or not if there's more audience to be advertised. When it comes to the scaling stage, then we can use those audience. It's all about using. It's all about finding the prospect using the certain amount of budget, and then to validate those audience whether or not they are going to be able to scale during the launch stage, right? Because in the launch stage, if you suffer ad fatigue, then it's going to be a big problem. So we are here in the pre-launch stage. We will find the winning creative, winning message, and then the winning audience. And so when you scale into launch stage, then you will have enough time for maybe on the first month to have enough audience to grab attention to come to your campaign, right? Of course, in the last stage, we do not stop the commitment test, or we do not stop continue prospecting. But then the aim there on the launch stage is about getting a lot of people attention to follow your campaign, and then hopefully convert them into a customer on day one, because on day one of the launch is the most important for Kickstarter campaign. They will be able to help you to help the Kickstarter algorithms to notify them, signal them, hey, this is a very big potential campaign, and then they will be able to help you to promote the product in the search result, right, or search optimization engine. Okay, so that's the reason why we have a pre-launch stage. Moving on to the launch stage. Sorry, are you hearing? Are you listening to me? Can you hear me from the mic? 1 second, 1 second.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sorry, I guess I've something coming in from my mic. Okay, there you go.
No.
Yeah, that's all. Something just went up in my mic, my speaker. Okay, let me continue. So inside the launch stage, what we do is more of like in launch stage, we will use the list that we prospect from the pre-launch stage. We'll continue to educate them, nurture them from email marketing, right? So once we have the email marketing set up, once we have all the tracking set up, then we will able to track whether or not we are able to convert people from email or from the ad itself, right? And then, of course, we're going to continue to scale our budget and continue our testing. And of course, we use the newsletter as well from a partner that we have. And also, we also will promote a affiliate marketing during the campaign to have those bloggers or YouTubers to help us to promote our product, right? So that's the launch stage. So that was the whole Kickstarter process. Of course, we post-launch as well. It's about whether or not they should go for Amazon, or they should go for Shopify, or they should just stop and then just run a second campaign before they launch another product on on Amazon, right? So there's a lot of different things to consider when it comes to post-launch. But then I think right now it's more on like the process on the whole Kickstarter launch only, right? Sorry, I can't hear you. I think
All right,
you might be
so
on
that
mute.
makes a lot of
Yeah.
sense. Yeah, so can you share a success story of a brand or a business that went through this Kickstarter process and was successful and went on to be successful, yeah, and what made
Okay.
them successful?
Okay, so there's different degrees of successful that we will discuss about, because successful could mean profits to one people. Successful could means revenue, which the company could wants to go for reputation. Successful could go for the asset that they're getting, right? So a successful campaign is always like for a small business, it's profit, of course. Like when you launch a 50K project, you get 20K in return, then it means that like the 30K is gonna be going to stock creation, like to manufacturing, right? So yeah, we have those type of customer in our agency. So they were a small business. They get product from China, and then they just change up the material, and then they snap it on then they put it on to Kickstarter, right? They were able to get garner like the platform to gain like enough interest. But then there's always customer that who wants to build brand, because they know that when they have a branding, they will be able to have a higher multiple when it comes to brand exit, right? So without a outside presence, outside of Shopify or outside of Amazon presence, a brand can only go up to like 2.0 in exit multiple. But then when it comes to outside traffics, when it comes to email lists that they have, they could go up to from 2.0 to maybe 4.3 in exit multiple. And that is success to one company who are looking to exit in the long run. So if you want to sell the brand, they should have enough customer to show their investor, to the buyer, that they have presence on Kickstarter, they have presence on Shopify, they have presence on Amazon, and they have been building a active community, and that's why it will increase from 2 times to 4.3 times. Right. So that is another level of success, right? Outside of like just really, if I'm not talking about profits, right? Profit is good. Like, of course, if we're a small business, we always want to look for profits, but then there's a lot of things that goes beyond when it comes to launching a Kickstarter campaign, right? There's another successful thing that we help as in a Amazon seller. So Amazon seller, they have to launch the product anyway, either on Amazon or on Kickstarter, right? Because they have been spending all the effort to create the product. Like it was a baking tray with a handle, right? So a modular baking tray, they put a handle on it. That's a feature that enough to differentiate themselves, right? And then they were not a first comer. They're already a first comer, a first mover on Kickstarter, that they sell modular baking tray, right? All they do is just adding a handle on the oven baking tray, and then they put it on Kickstarter. Okay, the first mover were able to generate 1 million in sales, but then the client that who added a handle, they only generated 100K, right? So this does sound bad, right? 1 million versus 100K, right? No, it doesn't sound bad, because even it's just 100K, it was 130K, not 100K. Even it's just 130K, he still get a lot of things. He get an email list that he can continue to snowball down into the second campaign. He get a video asset they can put it on Kickstarter on Amazon, that would have a major competitive advantage than other people who don't have those video asset. He gets a lot of like a royal backers ready that who have tried the product. So next time when they launch campaign again, they can utilize those backers and then to launch a second campaign, right? So um, did he earn anything? No, he didn't earn anything because after all the marketing spend, because it was a new brand, they have no asset, there's no email list. We have to literally do all the all the marketing for them, all the ad spend, all the affiliate marketing, all the newsletter partner, all the influencer, right? At the end, they might just put maybe 5,000 in the pocket, right? But then eventually what they get the list, they get the all the asset, they get all the marketing material that can snowball down to second campaign. And that is the third type of success that we are seeing as well, right? So either big profit, small revenue, moderate revenue with small amount of profit, or maybe a huge marketing campaign that aiming to increase the exit multiple. So it depends what does the seller wants. Then they can utilize crowdfunding as a marketing platform to help them to achieve that.
Okay. So are there any, because earlier you mentioned that you usually test products first on Kickstarter before putting them on Amazon if you have to. Are there any products or businesses that you think would be better off just starting directly on Amazon instead of going through Kickstarter first of all?
This is like a it depends question, I would say. I don't want to say that, but then I have to say that.
Yeah.
But then because like say I will give you an example on the internet, right?
Okay.
So there's literally like people would just say they are selling a reusable tissue, reusable towel, right? It's just a simple towel with a box that you can just put the towel inside. It's reusable, right? That campaign generated around 300K, right?
Wow.
So so what's special? It was just a silicone case that he has and then just a normal towel. Because they were promoting the story that this is reusable, it's green, that we were using that if you use too much tissues, that you chop down a lot of tree, and if you use our towel, you're able to reuse that, wash it when you go home, and you can go outside and use it again, right? Ideally, if I think about it right now, it's very not quite hygienic, and it's quite, I think it's a very dumb idea, to be fair. But then the stories makes the whole campaign were able to generate 300K. They use green, environmental friendly, and then recycle to build the material of the tower, right? To come up with a campaign, right? So if you ask me, in general sense, a commodity, just a very commodity, as in like a cable, or like things that is not like it's not like scissors, right? Like those things, if you can get on Amazon, we have to make enough differentiation, either differentiation in storytelling, either differentiation on the product feature, or either differentiation in your customer value, right? In order to put it on Kickstarter. That's why I say it depends, because you could put anything on Kickstarter. You just have to validate them. You just go on to validate them on either using our commitment test or our engagement test, and then we'll let you know, okay, this story plus this product and this unique feature is a go for Kickstarter. It's a no-go for Kickstarter. If we don't test it, I mean, there's no way for us to understand whether or not there's a potential for your product to put it on Kickstarter. That's why it depends.
Okay, so I think that actually answers that question. So for an e-commerce business owner, like you said, you've gone through a couple of different e-commerce formats. For an e-commerce person who maybe is trying to start their e-commerce journey, they've not yet started, but they are thinking of starting, what's the one best piece of advice you would give to them?
Always validate your idea first before you go on to do anything about it. or whether this is a info product, or whether or not this is a physical product. If you don't validate anything, eventually it will just waste your time, because a lot of people who just started with a passion, but then they didn't know that passion doesn't sustain a longevities of the business. And everyone would just like say, hey, I'm good at like poached egg, right? And then they would just sell a poached egg tools, like kitchen tools, right? And then only he realized once he's buy 3 months worth of stock and then create all the graphics, create all the ad spend, only he realized, oh crap, it's either there's no market there, or it's either there's too competitive, right? And that's why if we don't validate the market with the right method, with the market demand or market share, if we don't look at the data insight, then if we just blindly go into a business, eventually it's just going to be wasting 1 year of your time, or maybe worst case 2 years, right? Because it's all about like the aftermath, like what you're going to do after it, right? Passion is good. Having an idea is just the first step, but then sustain it is actually the difficult part.
Okay, so for listeners who want to learn more about you, who want to find out more about launching their products on Amazon, Kickstarter, or just basically general e-commerce insights, what is the best place they can find you?
You guys can go on to Emmy on LinkedIn or call Digital Dylan, or you guys can just go to omorang.com. And then you can just go on to the case study, then you will find a lot of different case study when it comes to on Amazon or Kickstarter.
Okay. All right. So for the listeners, the links will be put both in the show notes and on the screen. So you can talk more to Dylan. You can learn more from Dylan. So thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. And for the listeners, did you get any value from this episode? If you did, please share with anybody you know that it would help with launching their e-commerce brand, or maybe they've already launched and they're struggling with it. Share this episode with them to give them new ideas, new ways, new things, new strategies to implement in doing that. And if you want to be the first person to know when we post more helpful content like this, don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe to the podcast wherever you're seeing us or hearing us on. So we have other episodes talking about marketing, talking about product launches. There's probably almost 100 episodes. So till next week, when we come with a brand new episode, scroll through, listen to as many as are relevant to your business. And till you see a fresh episode next week, don't forget to keep checking your business. Bye for now.